This is the Own It Show, where we tell stories of how everyday people made ownership theirs to create extraordinary success.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Own It Show.
Weekly Winedown.
Cheers.
Cha-ching.
So earlier this week,
First off, what are we drinking?
Oh, we want to do that first?
Always.
So we are drinking a 2017 Louis Jadot Chardonnay. It's delicious, it's crisp, it's buttery, it's oaky, it's all the good things for a hot summer evening.
It's delicioso. And if you're capturing this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you're watching this and not on YouTube or social media, be sure to go do so and take a peek because it's a bottle that you're not going to want to miss out on.
So earlier this week, we spoke with Eric Himan, and what he told us is his version of ownership is the freedom to live life your way every single day.
And it's so unique because he kept going deeper into what does that mean? What does it mean to have the freedom to live the way that you want? And he went on to talk about how it's structure and how having the structure in place allows you the freedom. And we knew that Lance and Hollis talked a lot about the same thing, where discipline was freedom. And I think a little back to days even when, if you go to even Elise's content, I think it was a couple Sundays ago, that she was talking about our experience of how we used to get frustrated with our Sundays. We used to bicker a lot. We used to get irritated with one another. It was because we lacked structure. It was because we lacked a sense of what are we doing first, second, third? Not that it needed to be completely planned out, but that there was a structure to the day, and there was certain people's expectations wouldn't be met. There was disappointments. There was, quite frankly, frustrations. And those frustrations and that lack of planning or structure created a lack of freedom for us because we didn't have the ability to do exactly what we wanted in any given day. And so being able to structure, being able to create that level of freedom for yourself is really what allows you to be happy and engage in the days that you want.
It's so true. And it's a bit of a juxtaposition because structure allows you to have freedom. And so often we think of freedom as absence of structure. But really, that's not the case, because at the end of the day, we all have responsibilities. We all have things that we need to do. We all have relationships that we're taking care of. We all have ourselves that we're taking care of. And without some sort of structure to uphold and create a frame around all those different things, oftentimes it can result in chaos. And I know we've spoken with a lot of other guests on our podcast who live in that constant state of chaos because they potentially lack some structure. I know we've certainly talked about just living on this hamster wheel. It's like, my God, you wake up, you drink coffee, you go to work, you're at work for 10 hours, barely even have a second to go to the bathroom, let alone sit down and meditate for 10 minutes or go for a 15-minute walk. You're having lunch at your desk, meetings all afternoon, come home, have dinner with the family, but you're not present with the family. You're not there for them. You're just trying to get by because you're still coming down from a really, really hectic day of a million things coming at you. Have a couple glasses of wine, have the melatonin or whatever it may be to help you fall asleep, wake up, rinse, repeat, do the whole same thing over again. And so a lot of what we talked about with Eric was creating and defining his perfect day. And what he suggested was to write down, his first step was awareness. Absolutely get awareness, get uber clear on what the perfect day looks like for you. For him, it was being outside and moving and being active for 6+ hours a day. For a lot of us, that may not be our perfect day. But how do we generate that awareness to figure out what is our perfect day? And then sketch it out. Sketch out and plan and create the structure for what your perfect day looks like. And then what do you need to be able to do to start to make strides to start living more in alignment with your perfect day?
I think what really hit me with something he said was writing down during your day when you feel most present. Mm-hmm. Because that was like...
reflecting.
And reflecting on it.
He reflects every single day.
because even when you structure your day, you can still continue to refine it.
Mhm.
You can still continue to say, oh, this doesn't feel good to me, or this actually was something that I don't want to engage in again. And so that, I think, is something really powerful. I want to give another example that kind of bring this to light a little bit in terms of structure and freedom. I know we've all gone through high school or college, whatever. And when we were in those settings, we were told when our classes were, when they started, when they ended, when we had our free time, when we had our breaks, what time, when the homework was due, when the tests were. And so we had this structure to our semesters, to our year, to everything else. But then all of a sudden we go on Christmas break, or we have summer break, and all of a sudden our productivity goes through the floor. And I don't know about any of you guys, but I know myself, when I went into my summers, even though I was having to structure my training for hockey and everything else, my first week, I had so much anxiety coming home. I was like, oh my God, what should I be doing? There's nothing going on.
You're still that way sometimes on Sundays.
That's very true. But it's that structure, that what's next, that opportunity to put something in there that gives us the freedom to live the life that we truly want to and have the impact that we want to, and ultimately bring the joy and happiness to ourselves and others on a day-to-day basis. So with that, guys, identify what your level of structure looks like, what feels good to you, so that you can have the freedom that Eric and each and every one of us truly strive to live for each and every day.
It's so true. Although it's counterintuitive, structure is ultimately what brings about that freedom.
Ownership is structure, success is different, so be different.
And own it.
And own it.
Cheers.